Virginia Governor Glenn Youngkin appointed my next guest to the Virginia Board of Education in July. She is a mom, an engineer, and an Indian immigrant. But the Virginia State Senate blocked her appointment after she defended, get this, the Declaration of Independence and the U.S. Constitution, criticized socialism, and criticized communism during a board meeting. For this, she's accused of being, wait for it, aligned with white supremacists, end of quote. Please welcome Suparna Dutta. Thank you so much for joining me. Having been called the black face of white supremacy, Suparna, I feel your pain.
It's an honor, Larry. Thank you so much for having me on. Yes, it's. I thought white adjacent was the one label I would get, but I didn't think I would get this other one. So maybe it's a badge of honor, Larry.
Well, first of all, give us the status of your appointment. Is it dead?
It is dead, indeed. Yes. The Senate, the Democrats control the state Senate here in Virginia. And so I will just remind you one thing that January 31st, they voted, and in the Senate Privileges and Elections Committee, they voted unanimously, and there are 10 Democrats and 4 Republicans in that committee. They voted unanimously to approve my nomination. And just 1 week later, on the floor of the Senate, they all flipped. What happened in that 1 week? What happened in the 1 week was that I stood my ground, and I could not bear to hear the things being said about the Constitution and the defense of socialism.
So tell us what things were being said about the Constitution, about socialism, and tell us exactly what you said.
Okay. Ms. Holton, wife of Senator Tim Kaine, said that she did not want the words that the Constitution is remarkable as part of the History Standards preface. And also she added some more words. She said that it enshrined slavery, and by limiting the protection to white property men only. So I said that is not true. From what I know, and I'm no expert, and I'm still reading up on American history. Right. I think the Constitution is a remarkable document. Nothing since then has anything like this been written anywhere in the world. It enshrines our independence, our individual freedoms and liberties, and it gives wonderful checks and balances. And it's a wonderful system of government. And I think that's what has catapulted America to what it is now. The other thing that she mentioned was that she objected to the word socialism being included in addition to communism as a political system incompatible with democracy. She said also that some roles are best served by centralized government. Now, I said that I come from a country which was founded as a socialist country.
Right.
Larry, growing up, I was used to load shedding, which I think is called in some parts of this country now as brownouts or blackouts. So we had regular load shedding, and we had running water for only a few hours a day. So we had to make sure we were at home. We had to make sure we had big buckets lying around. We had to make sure we filled up those buckets with the water. We had to make sure that we took maybe half day off when you had to go pay the phone bill. Just 5 years ago, I visited my dad, and I stood with him as he had to change the internet speed and pay the bill. And we were just shunted from door to door. Something that, you can do with just one phone call in America. So that is not something Americans, if they really know what it is, would want.
One of my friends is the great economist Thomas Sowell, who's still with us. And he said, and I'm paraphrasing, socialism has such a record of failure, only an academic can embrace it. And we have all these historical experiments, Suparna, unfortunately, East Germany, West Germany. Same people, same culture, same history, 2 different systems. Which one was the more prosperous? West Germany. North Korea, South Korea. Same people, same history, same culture. One capitalist democracy, one not. Look at the difference between North Korea and South Korea. I'm told if you fly over North Korea at night, you see no lights.
That's right.
We've had, look at communist China, Taiwan. Which one is the more prosperous? It's not even close. Yet people in America, young people especially, are embracing socialism. It's enough to make you go nuts.
How is it that, Larry, how is it that only people who are well off come up with these ideas? I don't see regular working class people making these statements. I would never think of such a thing because I've experienced it firsthand. Why is it that only people who live in mansions? It's great to be able to live in mansions, but only people like that say these outrageous, outlandish things.
Well, it's a great point. It's because they don't have to deal with the consequences of their stupid policies. It's like these academicians. You're a tenured professor. You can't be fired. So you can kick back and write a book about how great socialism is. It's not going to affect you. It doesn't matter if your ideas are bad. You can't get fired. It's a wonderful job. You work about 10 hours a week. You have summers off. And you can kick back and come up with idiotic plans that don't affect you whatsoever. It's enough to drive you crazy. I'm here in California. People are leaving. And there is a headline this morning in the LA Times, Aparna, that says, California can't keep its people. It's not California, it's the California politicians and the dumb policies that are causing the average price of a home here in California to be 175% above the national average, largely because of their catering to these environmentalists that don't want anything built because they feel that if you alter the environment, somehow you're attacking the planet. And so as a result, developers are leaving and we're down all these millions of units of houses that we otherwise would have. I go on and on and on. But I want to get back to you. So you stood up, you said these kinds of things, and people went, "Oh my God, we got to get rid of her."
Yes, and I, unbeknownst to me, so this happened on February 1st, and just a day before, they had unanimously approved me
Right.
in the Senate committee, and then this happened, and then I didn't know things were in motion behind the scenes. There was social media trolls peddling a lot of things, and then a week later, State Senator Hashmi called me aligned with white supremacists, and not a single Senate Democrat really kind of defended me, and I was surprised. I've heard a lot of things, and I guess I should say that it was a badge of honor, is all I can say. I'm honored that Governor Glenn Youngkin is doing the right thing. He honors parents,
Right.
and really the anti-parent extremism of the left is mind-boggling. We are the parents are the consumers of, and their children are the consumers of public education. If we don't have a say, who should have a say in public education?
What's this? The great Eldersky has a pair of my slippers in his baby brown libertarian hand? I do. What's that? You want a pair? I bet you do. Call the number on your screen. They come in different colors and there is a different style if you don't like that one. Here is the product that started it all, the MyPillow, or is that redundant? I slept on it last night as I do every night. It is amazing. You'll fall right to sleep. They come in different sizes. Again, call the number on your screen or go to mypillow.com, promo code ELDER. And here is the 6-pack towels that work. That means they are absorbent, which means they absorb the water, which is what your towels to do. Haven't you noticed, because of the chemicals they put in towels, you go to the store, you find towels that look good, they feel good. You take them home, they don't absorb the water, they don't work. These work. Towels that work. Different colors, of course. Go to mypillow.com. Promo code ELDER. By the way, when you go to mypillow.com, you're going to find over 100 products. And this, of course, is the Giza Dream Bedsheet. Giza is in Egypt. It's an area where the finest cotton in the world is grown. Mine, as you can see, is in white because, after all, I'm the black face of white supremacy. I don't think the towels come in black. So mine's in white. I'm the black face of white supremacy. Therefore, I have white towels. You're not the black face of white supremacy. You might want a different color. So they come in different colors. They come in different sizes because beds come in different sizes. Call the number on your screen or go to mypillow.com, promo code ELDER. I was looking at what's called the National Report Card, Suparna. 85% of black 8th graders, these are black kids who are 13 years old, can neither do math nor reading at grade proficiency levels. 85%. and half of them can't even do basic reading. I'm in California. 75% of black third graders can neither do math nor read at grade level proficiency. And someone like you tries to turn it around, and because you defend America, defend the Constitution, defend the Declaration of Independence, you're out. I don't know how these people can sleep at night.
It is so mind-boggling. It is so mind-boggling that educators, and I wouldn't say, teachers, it's the administrators and people who are in charge of making these decisions are failing our children in such a big way. The NAEP, or the Nation's Report Card, was such a big indictment of not just the COVID era lockdowns, but everything that's really been happening for the last 10 years. I've been watching my school board, and I've been, involved as a parent advocate when the equity activists came for my son's high school to get rid of meritocracy. You might have heard of it, Thomas Jefferson High School for Science and Technology.
Yeah, I was just talking
and
about
I've been
it, yeah.
watching. I've been watching the local school board meetings there, and I don't think I ever heard them talk about education or academic excellence or rigor. It's always been extraneous matters like speech policing, pronouns, and other things that parents don't care much about. They just want a good, wholesome education for their children.
Before you came on, I was talking about Thomas Jefferson, and also I was talking about a school out here in California called Lowell High School. It's the finest public high school. It had an admissions exam, but unfortunately, the majority of the student body was Asian American kids. That wasn't sufficiently diverse. So they were going to change it, a lawsuit. They ultimately stopped it and put the admissions-based policy back in. But you're under assault for doing well, for working hard, and for being academically proficient. What kind of country is this? Now, I cannot believe that Governor Glenn Youngkin is going to take this laying down. He must have some sort of plan to do something about your appointment.
Well, Governor Glenn Youngkin is frustrated. He's got a lot on his hands, and the Virginia Assembly is still in session. So there's only so much he can do. I am just very honored to be appointed on the board. I love America, Larry, and I'm just happy to be here. I'm just happy to be a parent and be part of America's democracy. There's nothing more I could ask for.
Well, I have a feeling that there's going to be another chapter in your story about the Virginia Board of Education. I've got a feeling that the governor is not going to take this lying down. So you stay in touch with us and keep us updated.
Thank you, Larry. And again, I love you.
I love you too. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye. You know how comedian Jeff Foxworthy instructs us on how to tell if you might be a redneck?
For those of you that may not know if you're a redneck or not, they asked me to do a few to try to help you out. Things like if you own a home that is mobile and 14 cars that aren't, you might be a redneck. If you take your dog for a walk and you both use the tree at the corner, you might be a redneck. If you refer to the 5th grade as my senior year, you might be a redneck. If you prefer car keys to Q-tips, you're grown, but you know what I'm talking about. If the most common phrase heard in your house is somebody go jiggle the handle, you might be a redneck. If you've ever taken a beer to a job interview, you might be a redneck. If you see a sign that says say no to crack and it reminds you to pull your jeans out, you might just be a redneck.
So, I've come up with a few signs to show you might be a racist. If you say black instead of African American, you might be a racist. If you haven't seen Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, or The Woman King, you just might be a racist. If you've never called Donald Trump anything other than a fascist, you might be a racist. Now, speaking of signs, you might be a racist. Did Joe Biden really call a black governor boy?
And you got a hell of a new governor in Westmore, I tell you. He's the real deal, and the boy looks like he can still play. He got some guns on him.
Boy, that boy, he looks like he can go out there and play right now. Oh, wow. They go on big down there, those boys. Hey, if you don't know if you want to vote for me or vote for Donald Trump, you ain't really black. Go get him, Joe, because Joe was raised in a black church. Now, I'm Larry Elder. This has been the Larry Elder Show for Epic Times. We got a country to save. I'll see you next time.